What's going on, guys? It's intheworksmedia, and today we're doing Black Ops Class Act Episode 7, which it's been a while since we've done a Class Act, and this weapon right here is probably the most requested weapon I have ever had in the Commando. And the Commando is one of the high damage assault rifles in the game. It shoots a little bit slower, but it's, in my opinion, one of the better weapons to use now that the FAMAS has been nerfed. But you'll notice right off the bat that this is a very defensive type weapon, or I guess you could say class setup. Because we're using Flak Jacket and TacMas Pro. And mainly that's because we're going to be using this class to play objective-based games. And I'll show you guys a more aggressive version of this later in the video. But this is the objective type class. And you notice here, use cover a lot with any type of Flak Jacket TacMas class when you're playing the objective. And I am using a lot of the newer maps on this so that you guys can get a look at that and how I kind of play them with the Commando. Because I think all of the four new maps play fairly decently with the Commando. And you'll notice right away that the Commando has a lot of side-to-side recoil, and I think the red dot kind of complements that. It's a little bit better when you're just kind of trying to defend points of having more pinpoint accuracy. Whereas on some classes you might opt for an iron sight, and I think that the red dot helps you stay on target a lot better. Now, kill streaks are very important with classes like this. When playing objectives, I think counter UAV and or I should say spy plane and napalm works wonders. Um, that's because with any defensive class, you want to combo that with defensive kill streaks. Now let's take a look at my second class. And this is going to be the main point of the video because I think this is the bread and butter of the Commando. Now this is an extended mags class with Scavenger Pro to keep you full of ammo because the extended mags will keep you from needing to reload. You won't need sleight of hand. So instead we'll opt for steady aim, which will do it'll do various things for us. And then finally we have Marathon Pro. And then I like to have a law missile because you get two with Scavenger Pro. So instead of sleight of hand, the reason why we're using steady aim is because we're using Marathon. And the point of this class is to be super aggressive and run around and just try to play the objective and at the same time get a lot of kills. And I think this class is probably a really good TDM class as well. I personally don't play a whole lot of TDM these days, but I think that this is probably the class of choice if you're going to be going into like a TDM type atmosphere. Now what steady aim does is it allows you to bring the weapon up to your face faster after sprinting, and that'll come in very important when you're running around corners and stuff because you'll be able to catch people off guard, but you might not be able to pull your weapon up to your face right away. So you can kind of pre-fire, and as you pre-fire, pull the weapon up to your face. And steady aim does a really good job of helping you take out targets that way. And we'll see that at one point in this video. This is actually going to be a full gameplay chop down because I wanted to focus on this class in general instead of the first class. Because I think the first class is pretty self-explanatory. You see a lot of classes like that. I think the Commando is always going to be a good flak jacket class. It was probably my favorite class for the first two prestiges, but I think this one right here is the better alternative, especially if you're a very aggressive player and like to rush around. Now, once again, you might notice I'm using the jammer. The reason why I use the jammer is I can just sit it down and forget about it and know that a portion of the map will be blocked off. So I always put it on B or like in front of B. That way, anyone coming towards because B is always the most contested area of any domination game. Anyone coming towards that will have all their electronics disabled as well as their mini-map. Now right here you notice I don't run out there and try to take those guys out. That's just because we're playing domination. In TDM I probably would have run out there and tried to just destroy those guys, but in this I didn't want to flip spawns, so I was being patient and waiting for someone to come through that door. Like I said, Scavenger is going to give you plenty of ammo, so do not worry about wasting it. Also, another thing is you don't really need to worry about a whole lot about reloading. That's one of the great things about extended mags. You can usually get, 4 people isn't that, I guess you would say isn't a odd possibility with the Commando because it has such a high damage output. So be kind of stingy about when you reload. Use the fact that you have extended mags onto your advantage and you see a fail there. But kill streaks. You'll notice in this game I'm using the spy plane, the napalm strike, and the attack helicopter, which I like to call the COD 4 setup. And I think that's actually one of the best setups in the game for any class like this, because it's not really that hard to get to, and it'll reward you as you see me get snuck up on by that sneaky guy. It'll reward you, but at the same time they're very obtainable, and I like kill streaks like that. That way you can get a lot of them in the same game. And not only will that increase your score per minute, it'll assist the team because sometimes the attack helicopter doesn't do a ton. I mean, I'll be the first to tell you that. But there's times like this game where it actually does go to town and do some work. And there's other times where even if it's up in the sky, it's still distracting people and letting you know where they're shooting the air support down from. So it does have its uses. I think that everyone knows that spy plane and napalm are probably one of the some of the most used. And right there's a great example of steady aim. You see, I was rushing. That guy caught me off guard and was able to hip fire, then zoom down and finish him off. So steady aim is probably my favorite rushing. Steady aim pro, I should say, is my favorite rushing perk right now. I think it goes well with the Commando because the Commando doesn't have horrible hip fire. It's much better than the Galils. It's obviously not as good as the pre-patch FAMAS, or right there's a good example too. I pre-fired that guy before I aimed down sights, and then as he came closer and I was able to recover from sprint, I started to aim down sights and finish him off. So steady aim has its advantages. I think that in certain situations, it is a better perk to use than sleight of hand, because I think that the fact that you have faster reload on sleight of hand is actually pretty negligible. I think that it's a little overrated because it depends on. I guess it really just depends on the situations, but I think that steady aim is going to benefit you more with any type of marathon class like this. And you see right there, I didn't even bother reloading because you got extended mags on. You got to use those to your advantage. So right there, even though I missed him for a while and then I wasted some more bullets, I still had 19 bullets left. And that's enough to get 2 people, maybe 3 if you're lucky. Because the Commando can be a 3-bullet kill within range, and I think it scoots on up to a 4-bullet kill. So it has quite the damage output. It's equal to the Galil and the AK-47, I'm pretty sure. And like I said, it has a more moderate rate of fire, so you're not eating through ammo like the FAMAS or the AUG. So I really think that the Commando is one of the best options right now as far as assault rifles go. With the FAMAS being patched, the Commando kind of stands up to it a little bit better as far as hip fire, and it seems like it has a little bit better accuracy. It really just comes down to what you prefer. A lot of people like to say that the Commando doesn't have any recoil, but I disagree. I think the Commando has some pretty ugly recoil, and I think that's the only thing that kind of hinders it. The iron sights also aren't the most desirable because it kind of gets in the way and blocks your vision, and I think that comes back to haunt you in most situations. So there are some disadvantages to using the Commando, but for the most part, it's probably my second or third favorite assault rifle in the game, and I'm pretty sure that it is now my second most used weapon behind the FAMAS. So I've had quite a bit of experience with the gun, and I think that I can definitely recommend it if you're looking for an alternative to the FAMAS. Obviously, the AUG is very similar to this. You're like, what? Why are you saying that? I mean, when I say similar, I mean that it has similar recoil patterns. So if you're a fan of the AUG, you're probably going to be right at home with the Commando as far as the recoil. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. You might notice that I'm shooting down spy planes, which a lot of people consider a noob move, but that's what keeps me alive. Shooting down spy planes and air support is part of the game, and if you do it, you'll probably win more games. And I think that since you're never going to run out of ammo in your main weapon, there's really no point in having a secondary. So I think that having 2 law missiles to take out spy planes or free fire them is very useful, because the law is a little bit more versatile than the Strela 3 missiles, because you can't free fire them. So overall, this is probably my favorite assault rifle right now, especially with the FAMAS being gone. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to leave it a like, and let me know what weapon you guys want to see next. Check out the description if you want to see the past episodes, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.